It's been a very painful journey. A lot of joy too, but I feel like my story is maybe it is representative. It's definitely not just full of bliss and happiness. I fell in love 7 years ago. I fell in love with a poly guy, a great dancer, who's since become a big presenter in the kink community. And we explored both poly and kink together. At the time, he was engaged to his fiancée. 3 months after we started dating, they got married. And that was an interesting experience, watching someone that I was madly in love with marry somebody else when poly was brand new to me, and I had no idea what was okay to feel, what wasn't okay to feel, where I fit in, where I didn't fit in, if I was just totally insane for doing this. And our first year was very tumultuous. It was drama, drama, drama all the time. We were a 3-person drama factory. It was so hard because every week he thought I was going to leave because I had more freedom as a secondary. And every week I thought I was, going to leave or didn't belong or I couldn't do this. I didn't know what I was doing. It was awful. And that's actually why I started the podcast, because if I could help anybody else not to have a first year of poly like we had, then I would do it. I wanted to help identify some of the landmines and at least say, you know what, somebody else has been there too. Sometimes it helps just to know that somebody else has been through the same drama you have. Make it just a little bit easier so you don't feel like you're forging the path for the first time. Mm-hmm. And so we stayed together for 4 more years until it became apparent that his wife wasn't really comfortable with the way the relationship had come about. I think she would have been much more comfortable with what Tristan Taormino calls partnered non-monogamy, which is there's the couple at the base. They stay the couple. Couple's the rock. And then there are other relationships around that, but they're all decidedly secondary, no matter how much you love the person or whatever. And I think the having 2 primaries and being a VU where everybody was sort of loving in different ways, equal, separate, that sort of thing was it's a very, very tough thing to take. It really it goes against everything we're taught about what makes us special and what makes our relationship special in a monogamous society. So basically it worked until it didn't. It was 5 wonderful years, and I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about love and communication. It was definitely a painful yet very wonderful journey. The one thing I think you absolutely can't live without when you're exploring polyamory, either as a solo or couple, however it is you come into it, you really have to have an intense curiosity and an intense desire for self-knowledge. And I know that sounds very navel-gazing, like, oh, it's not about me. And it's true to an extent, because you really can't explore relationships with other people that are different personalities, introvert, extrovert, kinky, vanilla, until you really know yourself, and not just that you like X, Y, or Z, but why it is that you like, need, want X, Y, or Z. And that's a level deeper than a lot of people go on a regular basis, because it takes a lot of exploration and time. And that's something that fierce desire to dig deeper and for self-knowledge, I just don't think you can do poly without that. Biologically, human beings are socially monogamous, which means if you read The Myth of Monogamy, if you talk to any biologist, if human beings were naturally monogamous, we would simply be monogamous and nobody would be asking the question about whether we were or not. Human beings are socially monogamous like most animals out there, which means that we form pair bonds. We naturally are driven to be with one other of our species, and that we join together for a time to form a family and to form, to raise offspring, and we cheat. Social monogamy is we form pair bonds, and then we have extra pair couplings outside of those pair bonds. That is naturally what human beings do, and that's naturally what most species do. Now, where this comes in is, okay, in our advanced culture, when we no longer have the biological drive for men to get the sperm out there, to get their genetics, passed on. And when women are no longer so economically dependent upon the male to A, provide the best sperm, and B, provide the best economic circumstances so the children can be raised in the best way. When we're a little farther away from biology and we're a little more, we have more choice in what it is that we can do socially, that's really where the question comes in. Naturally, we're socially monogamous. That means that there's cheating, basically. That means that both people are going out and having extra pair couplings, as the biologists put it. They're both going out and cheating. And some of us have decided along the way, well, hey, why don't we just be honest about it? Why don't some people put it in the form of, don't ask, don't tell. We know we're going to do it. Go out, use a condom, I don't care. And then there are all these other different versions, polyamory, swinging, partnered non-monogamy, various different kinds of open relationships and non-monogamy. And I don't think it's more advanced by any means. I think there are just as many fucked up neurotic polyamorous people as there are fucked up neurotic monogamous people. I think it's simply a matter of being honest with yourself about who you are and what's going to work best for you. I do know a lot of people think of polyamory as something innate within them, that they're wired that way, like being gay. And I do know some people that feel that way. And I know a lot of people that see polyamory as a choice, that it is something that makes sense to them. They've tried monogamy, they tried polyamory, and polyamory simply works better for them. I think that both can be the case. I'm not a scientist. I can't show you a lot of studies. I can say that human beings are definitely wired to be with more than one person. Some people are like the stability that monogamy offers, and they're socially monogamous without the extra pair couplings because they don't feel they need it. Or they have the drive, but they simply choose to resist it and say, you know what, I don't want to ruin what I have. I'm just going to stay this way. And that's, to me, as long as we all realize that it's a choice, I don't care what you are. You can, if you're happy being monogamous and that really works for you, God bless you. You go to town. You be the hottest monogamous couple ever. And if you want to be poly or explore one of these other things, just go on the path of exploration. Do what you need to do.